Alex had mentioned that I was part of Best Buddies, and it all started with a connection. But before I share with you that, you've heard about the Kennedys, that storied American family, regardless of the politics or what you think about them. But Father Joe Sr., it gave him great joy when the Kennedy clan were smaller and they'd be home for the holidays, and it was non-negotiable for Father Joe Sr., you will be at dinner. And they would banter back and forth lovingly, and then Father Joe Sr. would pepper them with questions. Tell me what you learned today, who'd you help? And he would end with, to whom much is given, much is required. Joe Jr., eldest son, died in World War II as a pilot. Teddy, JFK, RFK, and then daughter, Eunice. Fast forward, Eunice married Sarge Shriver. When JFK, in his first 100 days in office, did a number of things, but he called on Sarge Shriver, Eunice Kennedy Shriver's husband, to start what? Peace Corps. Peace Corps. To whom much is given, much is required. Then in 1964, in Chicago, Illinois, Eunice Kennedy Shriver started what? Special Olympics. Sarge and Eunice Shriver had 3 sons, one of whom is Anthony, who started Best Buddies, to whom much is given, much is required. Starting with Father Joe 100 years back, through the lineage to today, and Anthony started Best Buddies. He asked me to serve in a leadership position on the Illinois Board of Directors. I did, and that's all it was about. And then through my service and connections, I got to meet Jeffrey Douglas of Vail, Colorado. Best Buddies' charter is to match and marry folks like us with really cool, developmentally challenged kids, primarily in high school and in college. They have chapters. So a phone call from Anthony led to a leadership and service position, but ultimately led me to the big ask the universe was asking of me: be Best Buddies with Jeffrey. You see, Jeffrey looks a little different. He speaks a little different. He processes life and information and even food and ideas differently. He suffers from Fragile X syndrome, which is a chromosomal disorder that produces a Jeffrey. I talk to Jeffrey once a week. We email a couple times a week. And then once every year in the summer, I carve out a non-negotiable week to do one-on-one guide time with Jeffrey. This was last year in Vail at the 10th Mountain Hut Division on a 6-day backpack trip, 50 pounds. This is the second to the last day. I'm forcing a grimace. What's Jeffrey doing? He's smiling because he has the gift of the present, the eternal now. He's in the now. That's his present to me. So on the last day of our trip, a beautiful John Denver Rocky Mountain High day, I snapped this picture of a grove of aspens. And I want to ask you now, how many trees do you see? Hundreds, thousands, 500. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one ecosystem, one root system, one of the largest living organisms on the planet. One root system, all interconnected. If a beetle, an insect, bores into any one of those trees, it takes it down, kills it, decimates it. My question, my ask of you right now is this: how many companies do you see? One. You're on the fast track to leadership here, sir. I'm like, wow.